Disney's ticket prices are being raised again for the first time in a few years. Reedy Creek Improvement District is 6 months away from being dissolved, and we're going to talk about that and more with a few more announcements. What do you think of the lighting? All right, let's get to it, everyone. Ready, set, podcast. Welcome to the ever-evolving, never-ending Ready, Set podcast. If society's a joke, then we're just here for the first set. All right, same studio, new lighting. Who dis, right? We're just going to try it like this. I don't really know if this is going to be the way we're going to go from here on out, but I just wanted to, we got some new toys. We're going to check it out, right? What do you think, Trump?
All I can say is it's totally fake news.
Huh?
It's just fake. It's fake. It's made-up stuff.
And so are those NFT cards you made, but we will kind of get to that in 1 second. First and foremost, don't forget, you can follow the Facebook page. You can follow our Ready Set podcast on our Facebook page. We are also on Twitter. There's a Twitter account that we use, but not really too much, just to kind of get the podcast out there. You can check us out on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you may find your podcasts as well. And yeah, as you can see, we got some new lighting. We're going to try this one out for this episode and maybe go back to the old ways. And actually, before I jump into this Disney thing, I used to, if you kind of look in some of the old previous podcasts, you used to see that we used to have a segment or an episode I would do every so often called This Crazy World. And usually it would be because it would just be a kind of way to catch up. And I feel like I should have kind of done that over this last, few weeks that I've been off. But honestly, saying This Crazy World is a little redundant. I mean, you might as well say, well, the sky is blue. So instead of kind of going into all that and rehashing, I just wanted to kind of talk about what happened. I think it was like a week or the same week I posted. Either way, it was a few weeks ago. And that was Trump announcing this big announcement that he had. And like me, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. What are we going to get? A vice president and a nice policy, announcement? Is he going to talk about the wall maybe? No, the dude is hawking NFT cards of himself. And, I get it, but I don't. I'll put it this way. Private citizen Trump, every right to, you can hawk your wares and do whatever you want. It's fucking America. The market speaks for itself. And as we know with Trump, like what he likes to do is he takes these products and sells them within his hotel. And again, private business, he can do what he wants. I'm not here to judge on how another man runs his business. However, when you announce that you're running for president, you announce that, you're going to make this big move, something that you don't have to do, and then you start hawking NFT cards, trading cards that are $100. Again, private citizen Trump, fine. You're running for president, bro. You're not hawking cards. Like that was I don't know who got in his ear, who told him that was okay, but that was not the right move.
You are fake news.
I am not. I'm telling the truth. I would make that argument against you, but you're still here on the desk for the time being.
Honestly, it's fake news.
It's not. But the way I'm looking at this, we're just going to chalk this up to strike one, I guess. The way I would like to look at this is that it's very early on. I mean, I'm even seeing reports this week that Mr. Ron the Con DeSantis might actually announce his run in the summer. It's this NFT card thing. It was a really big blow to everything I just kind of talked about over the last few weeks. I'll leave it at like this.
That would be another example of, as you say, fake news.
It would not actually. It's early on still. There's all these moving parts. We're very early on in the process. I mean, I remember before Trump ran at this time in this cycle. I mean, I don't even remember who was running, if anyone did. So it's very early still. But like I said, let's just let things play out. I'm honestly going to probably hold this position with Trump being down here until at least for another 5 to 6 months. And it's got really nothing to do with that I support him that much. It's just more about, let's see what happens, who's going to run, who announces. I mean, they're saying the governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson, might announce for a run. I mean, I don't understand the ego some of these guys have. And honestly, sometimes they run knowing they're not going to at least make the nomination. They just do it for, national exposure, which becomes a long-term play to run for president or to just be in federal office in general or a head of state. So we're gonna wait for that, but I will definitely say if I've come off my stance from a few weeks ago. I'm not gonna move Trump to the back shelf, but you might see Ron make his way right here, and I'm gonna have to probably add a few more bobbleheads because I'm thinking of turning that back shelf into the establishment shelf. It'll be Democrat and Republican uniparties back there, but one thing at a time.
You know why?
Fake news. That is correct, sir. Okay, so let's get to our main story at hand here. I wanted to talk about Disney. Been wanting to do this one since earlier this year. Actually, I was planning on writing this one out. I was actually writing this one out. And that was when the Don't Say Gay bill, although it's not called that, was being written and passed and then signed into law. And while I was literally writing this out, planning it out, is when DeSantis signed that bill, or it got passed and then signed, about a month later. And I just kind of had to put that one into the can. So we are all these months later. So let's kind of break down Disney really quick before we really get into this here. Let's go to article view. Yes. All right, so here we got, this is basically Disney World. Disney World is the one in Orlando. Disneyland is in Anaheim, California. So I wanted to do this so everyone can kind of get an idea of how massive Disney actually is. Okay, so you can see Disney Magic Kingdom Park is up here. This is how big Disney property is. Their property extends, they might own some of this green, I don't know, but it's basically all of this right here to this lake, so from this highway all the way over to this road. This is called 523, I think, 535. And this takes you up into like Windermere and basically where like Tiger Woods and all the rich people live. That Lake of Versailles the Palace of Versailles. There's a A&E documentary. These like rich people trying to build the palace. It's right here in Lake Butler. So Disney's right on top of right on the bottom of all of this. But you can see, so this is all Disney. Reedy Lake, all of Disney. It extends from 429 all the way over here to 535, and it goes all the way down, keeps going down. So this is the south side of the property. This road 192 is actually the county border. So you have Orange County up here, Osceola County down here, and you can see their property still extends all the way down to here. And there's actually over here in this area there's a water facility, however the fuck you say it, where Disney, because that's one of the things, as we'll get into here in a minute, is what they do is they produce, they do water, whatever. I'm not a municipality guy. I don't know all the names of this shit. But yeah, so you get an idea how fucking massive, Disney is. I mean, this is about 27 to 30,000 acres, and that's Celebration down there right here. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, well, okay, so how about, well, that's pretty big. What's Disneyland look like in comparison? I got you, foos. All right, here we go. So this is Disneyland right here. I believe this is like 20 acres. You know what I mean? I mean, look, I don't know the Anaheim area at all, but, look at this. There's not a lot going on here. I mean, it's one exit to one exit. Let's Disney. I mean, this is, all right, you can get off right here if you want. I mean, I don't know why you would, because you just take the highway and go right into Disney, but there's one exit. And this would probably be where you'd get off, if you're going into Celebration or straight up into, Disney. But obviously you would probably get off. But you can see one exit, two exit, three exit, 4, 5 exit. There's traffic on here. But you get it. 6 exit. I mean, it's massive in comparison. Okay, compared to Disneyland, you got a few parks here. It's definitely a lot smaller. So this kind of gives you an idea of, the differences in the Disney areas and, why they're so different and why everyone feels the need to take this fucking mecca here to Orlando. As someone who has worked in the service area here in Orlando, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, good God, guys, you tourists are the bane of my existence sometimes. So that's kind of the big difference between Disneyland and Disney World. And just so we had that, I just wanted to point that out. There is no really reason, but a lot of people seem to be confused on the actual size of the two. And a lot of people I've talked to here that come to Orlando that are visiting, they seem to fail to understand how massive Disney is. And just to give you another look here, I mean, okay, let's do it. Let's put it this way. So I live here in Disney, obviously. I can tell you from firsthand experience, if you were here at Magic Kingdom and you wanted to drive all the way down here to Animal Kingdom, I mean, you have to take World Center Drive all the way down to, this is Osceola Parkway, and then that takes you right into Animal Kingdom. And then, little side note here for all you folks, if you're staying at Animal Kingdom near the lodges back here, just know you're not in the middle of nowhere. There's a Texas Roadhouse and a Chewy's Garbage within, a tenth of a mile of where you're staying. So that's how good Disney is at making you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere when you actually are not. All right, so I'm kind of all over the place here. We're looking like we're going to be at another hour podcast if I keep going this way. All right, so, I did the classic looking at the map and forgot to switch it over. I'll show you guys again here. Do it really quick. Article. Okay, so if you wanted to be up here in Magic Kingdom and you wanted to drive all the way down here to Animal Kingdom, I mean, it's at least a 10-15-minute drive, depending on, and there's not really a lot of traffic back there unless you get some idiot like this who crashes on a massive 4-lane road where, whatever, tourists. But what I was saying here is you can see, Animal Kingdom, you got the lodges over here, and a Texas Roadhouse and a Chewy's right in the back. So they do a great job of really making you feel like you're out there in the middle of nowhere when you aren't. All right, so what I wanted to kind of talk about is, like, what the hell is Disney doing? You know what I mean? Like for once, the pandemic happened, they shut everything down, and for someone that lives here, that was an experience in itself because, actually I'll go back to here, this giant red line that we're looking at right now that's happening, that didn't exist. I did not see this line for a very long time, not until basically they started bringing everyone back, and I think once they got the park beyond 25-50%, and it was spring break 2021, it seemed like everyone was kind of starting to come back. But then all of a sudden, Disney started making some interesting moves for their business. Some would argue for the better, some would argue for the worse, and like I'm going to argue, it was just for the company's well-being in general. So first we have them raising ticket prices. Where did I do with that? Where that is... Let me find it here. Okay, here we go. So I saw something recently that talked about, what Disney, when Disney opened, adjusted for inflation, I believe their ticket prices were about $25. And within, what do we got here? A few years. When I moved here 7 years ago, it was about, I think about $100. Obviously it fluctuated, but it was roughly $100 to go into the parks. But if you live here, people that work at Disney, cast members. So you just kind of talk to them, and then they can get you in the park for free, and you're good to go. That's how the locals kind of manage it. And watching them raise ticket prices here, it's kind of mind-boggling. And I'm going to go into why in just a second. But, raising ticket prices, it's getting pretty, like Magic Kingdom, 120. Like if you have a family of, even if you were just two people, $250 to go to Magic Kingdom, and then might as well just multiply that by 4. Like this, I think this whole excursion, airfare, hotels, all the parks, it's almost like $5,000 for a family of 4, and just the fact that they're raising these ticket prices, nonstop. This is the other thing. It's not like they're just stopping at raising ticket prices. They're also, they've killed spontaneity into the park. When I moved here, you could just find someone that had a comp ticket for a cast member, and then you could go meet them at the park. They scan you in, and you're good to go, and you could park hop. And then they changed that because they figured people were selling those, so you could go to the park and get scanned in by the cast member, but you could no longer park hop. And if you wanted to park hop, you had to be with the cast member. So that was a big change. And then obviously with COVID, one of the biggest changes they had is they got rid of the Fast Pass and the Fast Pass system and implemented this Genie Plus system, and most importantly created this reservation system that has really dog, Disney. I mean, everyone I've talked to, they just feel like they've been robbed of the spontaneity of being able to move around the parks, do Magic Kingdom this day, do Animal Kingdom that same day, or do Animal Kingdom, go back to Magic. I mean, you can't do any of that. It all has to be planned out, and it's marketed as this way to help you as the guest with your experience, but let's, not. We know that's a lie. At least I do. I'm smart enough to understand that what Disney is doing is they're pissing on your shoes and telling you it's raining because they're saying, hey, this benefits you. But really it benefits them because it allows them to staff the parks, the restaurants accordingly based on their reservations. Because obviously when you don't know who's showing up, it's hard to make adjustments like that. I get it, but you're an $84 billion company. If you can't figure out how to staff a park without reservations, what are you doing? Now, really quickly, I found this blog, and this guy, he had a really, let's just read from it really quickly, and we'll go from there. So it's been a few years for the Walt Disney Company, and it's been a rough few years for Walt Disney Company and its fans. It's pretty wild to now think of 2019 as whoa, that is a big word. I'm not even trying to read it. Days of Walt Disney World and Disneyland, but with the benefit of hindsight, they were. This post takes a look at what happened since negative views, blah, 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 blah. Okay, because he's kind of talking about how Bob Iger, or Chapek got fired, thankfully so, because that guy is horrible. But now they're bringing back Bob Iger. It's okay, I guess. But here, this is kind of where I want to read. It probably goes without saying the most controversial issue this year has been the company's public standoff with the Walt Disney World's home state, Florida, resulting in a battle between former CEO Bob Chapek and Governor DeSantis. That made headlines for months and culminating in Florida passing bills to dissolve Walt Disney World's Reedy Creek Improvement District. We're going to go into that in just a minute here. On the media side, it has plenty of problems. A few years of those real live-action Mulan. It's okay. China. Okay, so that resulted in Disney becoming a symbol of Hollywood hypocrisy, willing to sacrifice values to do business in China. Subsequently, there have been lower-profile content controversies of varying degrees, at least some of which being driven by Disney being under the microscope. And I think he kind of goes into some of these. But this is what I want to do. So all of that, before we get into these changes at the park, let's watch this video of, so this video is from 2015, and it just shows you how much has changed in 7 years. Let's give it a quick look. That's the Grand Floridian.
So, you want to hear more about our Disney Resort Hotel?
Okay, so the first change we're going to notice right off the back is this guy is super straight. If this was today, it would either be a black woman, white woman, who is obviously of the gay persuasion, and they would be beyond flamboyant.
Well, you came to the right place. You won't believe all the...
And his name's Nicholas.
Magical benefits you get.
And he's like 40.
With more than 20 fun hotels, you get to pick your theme. You'll find the one...
Okay, that sounds like I'm going to get nicked with a YouTube thing here if I don't chill out with this all the music and fucking Disney. They destroy me. What else we got here?
You want to spend even more time in a Disney theme park? Well, listen to this. Stay right here with
Damn it,
us
with this
and then you'll
music!
get some magic
You're crushing me. I want to really watch this.
powers. Extra time inside the parks, we call it extra magic hours.
Oh, okay. Actually, we're going to stick with this here. Hopefully I do not get fucking copyrighted. I'm going to be so depressed if I do. All right, let's go here.
You want to spend even more time in a Disney theme park? Well, listen to this. Stay right here with us and then you'll get some magic powers. Extra time inside the parks, we call it extra magic hours.
That's gone, if you're curious.
These extra magic hours happen
They nixed
every
that
single
shit.
day. It's all complimentary.
I'm not trying to get... What else? Let's move it on here. Gotta blow through this thing because all the fucking music.
You get when you stay in a Disney Resort Hotel. We'll give you each a magic band. Wear it on your favorite hand. Amping up the fun when you're on the run. Your magic band will get it done. Just pick the color
They still
best
have
for
those
you.
things? I think they do. Okay, so yeah, you get your magic band.
Use your magic band at our Fast Pass Plus locations.
Fast
What's
Passes.
Fast
Remember
Pass
those?
Plus, you ask? Come on, I'll show you.
Yeah, tell us.
You've got so much to do. You need the perfect perk for you.
Okay, well, I'm not going to... They have to do music. It's most likely copyrighted. It's
It
Disney.
makes your stay a treat. Get it now. Make your trip a wow. It's sweet. And you know what else is sweet?
What
As
else?
a guest of a Disney Resort hotel, you get first access to FastPass Plus service up
Whoa.
to 60 full days before you check in.
That's definitely not there anymore. And that's a big perk when people were planning that they really liked that is long gone now because of this Genie Plus system that they have implemented. Like this is almost. I didn't watch this before I did the video. I just wanted to kind of be surprised naturally. I should have because of the music, but this is kind of fascinating to watch because this is almost a completely different company in comparison in the way it's marketed in 2015 versus it is now. Let's keep going here. Pray to God I do not get hit with a copyright infringement. Oh, we're at 20 minutes. Brutal. Better go on here.
Flying into Orlando Airport?
This is
and
also
you get
gone.
to experience Disney's Magical Express service.
All right, so the Magical Express bus is a bus that they pick you up at the airport with, and they bring you straight to your Disney hotel or resort straight from the airport. And this is a perk that everybody loved because you literally got off the airplane, found the Magical Express, boom, you're in Disney. And it's, well, like 25, 30 minutes from the airport, roughly. You know, I think with the proliferation of Uber, Disney realized, hey, we can cut this and have a bigger bottom line.
We can pick you up with our airport bus.
God damn you guys.
Your mind, leave your work.
Stop singing, bitch.
Monorail or a boat or bus.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back really quickly. I want to point something out here.
Even after you get here, take a mono.
All right, so the monorail. Like, these things look so outdated. Again, this, if I had to guess, for this commercial, they got this thing power washed, nice and clean and shiny. They probably waxed it. Because when I go to Epcot and you're waiting for an Uber to pick you up, these monorail things zip right past you, and they look beyond outdated at this point. Maybe this is 7 years ago. It didn't look that outdated, but I'm telling you, these things look so out of date right now whenever I'm there.
Monorail or a boat.
Yeah, music.
So we're all set.
We hope you'll be joining us soon at a beautiful Walt Disney World Resort hotel. Zippity-doo.
Okay, definitely not playing that. So again, if this is in modern, I say modern terms like it was a while ago, but if this was, filmed today, he'd be like, hey guys, come to Disney. I mean, I'm probably pushing it, so we're going to stop right there, but you get it, right? You get it?
Fake news.
It's not fake news.
Phony stuff.
It's not. This is it happens. This is what's going on. I'm telling you, folks. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how much has changed with the Disney company in just 7 years. And honestly, what a pandemic can do to a company and make, when it has to pivot in the moment. But the problem is the pandemic's been over for a while, so I'm not sure why Disney feels the need to keep this going. Oh, I guess because these policies benefit themselves. Now, the other side that... Oh, I missed a graphic here. Actually, let's go back to ticket prices very quickly. I know I'm a little scatterbrained all over the place, but this is how ridiculous they have gotten. So here, this is adjusted for inflation. I believe that's in the $20-something range. And just look at how it just, and then here, look at right here. This is roughly in the last few years, and look at this giant jump. I mean, a lot of that could be attributed to inflation, whatever you want to call it. I would probably put a lot of that on inflation, but and this is 2019. That's crazy. Oops, I got this mouse that I'm still getting used to here. That's nuts. I mean, it's insane how out of control Disney is getting with it, but people pay it. So who's to blame at that point? If Disney keeps jacking up the prices and you keep paying it, after a certain amount of time, it's hard to blame Disney. So kind of on the lines of the fact of these raising ticket prices here, I've really got to ask one question, and I've always posed this question to everyone I talk to about Disney is, all right, let's use the chart here. So they built Animal Kingdom in 1998. That was the last new park that they built. So we'll say that has to be somewhere right in here. And you could see, these ticket, they built, I think in the late 80s or early 80s is when they built Epcot. So you could see there's kind of a bump in ticket price there. Eisner came and took over, and this is where one of the things Eisner did is one of the reasons you pay for parking when you go to Disney World and Disneyland is Michael Eisner. And you can see, maybe that was, they were going to get you either way. If they didn't raise the ticket prices back then, they're going to get you for parking. And that's probably why you see it just flattened out. It really wasn't doing much, in the 80s going into the 90s because they were just finding revenue sources from somewhere else. But again, going back to what I was saying, this is the area they last built new parks. Now, some people will turn around and be like, oh, Joe, but they built expansions and MGM Studios and Hollywood Studios and The Rise of Resistance and Avatar. Yeah, but those are expansions. They're not new parks. I mean, I get it. If you want to be a Disney fanboy, you want to simp for Disney, by all means, go for it. But at least be honest with yourself. Like, do you just want them to build expansions to existing parks, or do you want a brand new park? I personally would like a brand new park. And going on with that, they have not built anything since this area right here, and then look what happens. It's like you're going up and up and up, but there's no down. Usually if you're going up on a roller coaster, you want to have, a nice steep decline. I mean, unless you're the business. But, like, at this point, it's like, is this roller coaster ever going to stop going up? Like, do you just go into the stratosphere and then that's it? And this is kind of like on my fourth pillar against Disney here is the fact that they haven't made any new rides since 1998. Like, this makes no sense to me. You're making billions of dollars. Actually, let's go back to the article view here. You have all of this land. It's not like Disney is in a shortage of land anywhere. You got, I can figure out how to work this computer here. You got Magic Kingdom up here. You've got Epcot down here. Hollywood Studios over here, Animal Kingdom over there. Like, you can build a park. I mean, they have plenty of land to build parks. And again, not sure if anyone notices, but they got all this land down here as well. They were not going to build parks down this way. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy if they did start building a park. Hey, you got a guy 30 minutes to get to the next park. But it's not like they lack the land to build a new park. They just lack the willpower. They know building a new park would do for their overall cost, their bottom line, and that's essentially why they won't do it. But I will say, I'll add this little caveat here in a little north here. So you're probably thinking we're going to go to Universal Studios, and that's actually right up here. So you have Universal Studios. This is basically all of Universal. Now what Universal is doing, and not a lot of people know about this, is that they are building a new park called the Epic Universe. And they're actually building that one down this way, where it's Destination Parkway. So it's basically all this land. I think it's all of this land right in here. Oh, no, that's Lockheed Martin up there. Where the fuck are they building it? So it's Destination Parkway. So it's off of this road right here. So it's basically, I think it's like this land right in here that they're building the new Universal Park. And actually, Universal used to own all of this land. I don't think they own Lockheed Martin here, but all this land used to be Universal's. And then I think someone else, they sold it around the turn of the century. Someone else bought it. They defaulted. And that's why I think you have Andretti here. There's a Topgolf down there. But all this land here is soon going to be the new Universal. And that's going to, I assume, force Disney to make some kind of moves. I wonder if they're, ballsy enough to not build a park and just add, another ride to Magic Kingdom or something like that. I mean, it sounds about right for Disney. So this is going to make me kind of pivot into, did I do it again where I did I'm talking about it and I forgot to move the article over? God, big adjustment here. It's also because my screens are kind of separated. All right, so I'll just do this quickly for you. Universal is right up here. Okay, and then they're going to build this new park right off Destination Parkway. So I believe it's all on this land back here. And I've been up there a few times recently. You can see cranes and they're building new roads and stuff back there. Like, actually, let's look at the terrain view. Maybe that'll give us a quick look into terrain, bitch, terrain. Yeah, so here, you can see all the construction that they're starting here. This is all going to be the new Universal theme park. Epic Universes, I think is what they're going to be calling it. So that's why I say, with Disney, look at the size of this park. It's humongous. You know, I mean, the Disney or the Universal's right up here. You can see the difference in size of that park. So it just really makes you wonder, like, what's Disney going to do when this happens? Are they going to build a new park or just keep expanding? No idea. But that might kind of not be in the cards for them right now, considering that they had this issue with Reedy Creek.